Hi everyone. In this video, we will see how the manufacturing flow works. Production module in Kladana allows planning production based on one or several bills of materials, analyzing the sufficiency of raw materials, calculating the cost of finished goods, and monitoring the entire process. Let's see how it works. To start the manufacturing process for the new product, we need to make some preparations. Create product cards for raw materials and finished goods. If we have initial stock for raw materials, add this stock to Kladana using stock adjustment. Create routing and bills of materials. After we are ready to launch production, let's imagine that I produce bakery products. Let's make some cinnamon buns. To produce buns, I need some bakery ingredients. In my case, I have already made preparations. In the products and services section, cards are created. Also, I have already added the initial stock for the ingredients. Now I need to create routings. After this, I need to create bills of materials based on routing. This should be done only once for each product you produce. First, routing should be created. Routing is a sequence of production operations that must be completed to produce a finished product. To create a routing, follow the production, routing tab, and then press the plus routing button. In the open window, we must fill the routing name and add production stages. Click on the arrow and choose the production operation from the drop-down list. Click the plus button and create a new operation in the open window. In my case, I have already created the bun baking routing. To make a bun, we must complete all these operations in the following order. First, dough making, dough forming, baking, cinnamon sprinkling, and packaging. After routing is ready, we need to create a bill of materials. In bills of materials, we define finished products, raw materials for each production stage, and if required, extra production costs. Please note, all production orders are based on bills of materials. But in this specific production order, you can change produced goods, raw materials, and operations cost. Let's see how to create a bill of materials. For that, follow Bills of Materials tab and press plus Bills of Materials button. Fill in the name, choose the routings, for example, bun baking. After choosing the routing, you will see three tabs. In the first tab, specify finished goods and BOM quota. Quota is a minimum quantity that can be produced. Sometimes it is one piece of finished product, but sometimes it depends on raw materials and cannot be produced in a single piece. For example, you make wooden boards and for that you use pieces of raw wood and produce a minimum 5 wooden boards. So in that case, the quota is 5 pieces. In my case, I produce minimum 20 buns during the production cycle. So I choose a cinnamon bun as a finished product and the quota is 20 pieces. I need to define raw materials for each stage in the raw materials tab. Let's choose the raw material. I can define extra costs for each stage in the operations cost, but this is not necessary. After filling all tabs, save the bills of materials. I have already saved so that I won't save that again. Let's see ready bills of material for buns. You can see cinnamon buns and quota 20 pieces in the finished goods tab. In the raw materials tab, all raw materials are filled. You can choose more than one raw material for each stage. Fill in the required quantity. Leave some stages without raw materials. In the operations cost tab, I do not define extra costs in the bills of materials. I will fill this in the specific production order. After bill of materials is created, it can be printed. Also, you can print an estimation of the finished product's cost according to the bills of materials. Let's print it. Estimated cost of the finished product is based on quantity and purchasing price of raw materials. Operations cost, if they are mentioned in the bills of materials. Quota, in other words, the number of finished products in the bill of materials. Please be noted, estimated cost is not equal to actual unit cost. The estimated cost is used for estimation, but the actual cost may differ. The actual unit cost of finished goods is calculated only after production is completed for a specific production order. The actual cost of produced goods is based on the unit cost of used raw materials, not purchase price from product card. List and quantity used raw materials, quantity of actually used produced goods, cost of operations for the specific production order. So we finished with our preparations. Now we are ready to start production. Let's imagine that I want to produce 100 cinnamon buns. For that, I go to production orders tab and press plus production order button. In the new production order, I'll choose a warehouse for raw materials and a warehouse for the finished product. In my case, it is the same main warehouse. If necessary, fill scheduled production date. Then choose a bills of materials for that order. I choose bills of materials cinnamon buns 20 pieces and set up volume ratio 5 as I want to produce 100 buns, 5 boxes with 20 buns in each box. Pay attention to the columns quantity produced, unit cost and cost amount. These columns remain empty until the production is not finished. In the raw materials tab, I can see the list of all required materials and their quantity for that production order for 100 buns. I have a sufficient quantity of raw materials on hand. I don't need to purchase raw materials for this production order. If you want to reserve raw materials, put the tick on allocate order to committed stock. And if you want to see products from production order as in transit in stock report and other transactions, put the tick on allocate order to awaiting stock. Now we are ready to start the production process. For that, I open the process tracking tab. To launch the production process, I press start to produce button. After that, I can mark operations as completed. You can see the start date is filled. After the first operation, dough making is completed, I press the complete button for it. After making the stage as completed, date and time of stage completion appeared. The operation report for that completed operation was created. Let's open the operation report. In the operation report, you can change the date and time of completion, list and quantity of actually used materials, change or add extra operation cost. For example, fill it based on actual job cost or contractor bill for that stage. For example, I use not 10 but 12 eggs as 2 were occasionally broken. Also for that operation, my job costs were 300 rupees. So I fill the quantity of eggs as 12 and input 300 rupees as the operation cost. Save change operation report. Operation report for completed operation affects stock for used raw materials. Let's continue the production process. For that, complete all stages beside the last one. Final operation differs from previous operations in that it writes off materials and adds finished products to the stock. Let's complete it and after that go to the operation report. In the operation report for the final stage, you can see the finished products. Also, in the operation report for the final stage, you can change the quantity of the finished products. For example, 5 of 100 buns were burned, so we produced 95 buns. Pay attention. After we change the quantity of finished products, the unit cost for each product in that production order was changed. Let's see how the completion of the last operation affects the stock of finished products. I opened the stock report for cinnamon buns and ingredients. Before the last stage completion, bun stock was 40 pieces. Now the stock is 135 pieces, as we produce 95 buns. Let's see what happened in production order after we completed the entire production process. In the finished products tab, quantity produced appeared. Also, unit cost and cost amount were calculated for finished products made in this production order. In the raw materials tab, quantity used appeared. You can see the 10 eggs were planned, but I used 12 of them. Unit cost and cost amount for raw materials were calculated. Also, the total cost for raw materials and operation costs were calculated. The end date and production duration appeared in the finished products tab. We completed production order. 95 buns were produced and appeared in stock. Unit cost for them was calculated. The stock of ingredients was reduced. That's all about creating routings, bills of materials, and production orders. Some useful links you can find in the description below. Put your likes and subscribe to our channel to get notifications about new videos.